The legislation we are considering is not based on the tradition of opportunity, innovation, competition, and personal responsibility that make this the strongest and most resilient economy in the world. The President tells us that government cannot and should not replace businesses as the true engine of growth and job creation. However, the policies of this administration and this legislation all elevate the role of government and diminish the role of individuals and companies to make choices for themselves, and having made those decisions, assume responsibility for those choices and succeed or fail as a result. If you take away the opportunity to fail, you also take away the opportunity to excel. And just as in the past, this is all done cloaked in the language of protecting us by empowering the government to decide many of the basic aspects of our life. The American people need to know that the very Wall Street you claim to be reforming actually supports critical parts of this legislation. It's Wall Street, not House Republicans, who support the majority's permanent bailout authority, guaranteeing mega banks will only get stronger and more powerful with the bailout authority this legislation institutionalizes. There will be two great costs of this legislation. One will be the pocketbook cost to every American taxpayer. Section 210 alone could cost the American taxpayer untold trillions of dollars. It allows a government agency to borrow 90% of the fair value of a failed firm's consolidated assets. As this graphic shows, for the 6 largest financial institutions alone, this would amount to more than $8 trillion that our government is authorized to borrow. It is difficult to imagine a greater cost than this, or greater exposure to the taxpayer. Nonetheless, there is one: the cost to our citizens of freedom. No one argues there's no role for the government to use legislative authority to protect individuals. Consumer protection is important. The question is, how and to what extent should that legislative power be exercised? In one legislative scheme after another, decisions by the government are being substituted for what should be decisions by individuals. The American people have a choice to make. Will we continue to be a nation organized around the principles of free enterprise, limited government, a reliance on entrepreneurship and the individual, and rewards determined by success and failure in the market? Or will we follow the majority's approach and move even further towards a managed economy, expanding government bureaucracies, and perpetual subsidies to the majority's political allies at the expense of the taxpayer? We remain the strongest and largest economy in the world. Our economy is more than twice as large as the next largest economy and greater than the next 4 combined. Our strength is our people, not our government. It is my strong belief that a vast majority of Americans want the future where they can use their own efforts to create a better life for themselves and their family. That is when we are at our best, when we, the people, not the government, are ultimately in charge. Regardless of the outcome of this conference, Mr. Chairman, that is the future we Republicans will work to achieve, and I hope that you will join us.